touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it.
Well, good evening, Sigma race fans. We come at you live here tonight from Watkins Glen with the USATrucks Eastern Division. And should be a good one, 100 miles here for 41 laps. Your pole position belongs to the 59 of Gannon Bird. That's the first time we've seen him up front starting one of these races in quite some time. Alongside your points leader, the 88 there of John Hagan. Then the next row, it's Brandon Butler, the second, alongside Dale Bush. The 27 of Zane Phoenix with Guido Piano right behind that is the 25 of Philip Purpura, second in the points alongside Carlos Eduardo there. Mitchell Carter and Snake Plissken. Wesley Shaw and the 46 of Craig Popgris. Ralph Oberstadt and David Bird. John Underkoffler and Cannon Gage. Kyle Ottawa with the 32 there of James Gunner. Tim Morse with Daniil Bogdasarov. Wyatt Wilkinson and Sebastian Galloway Jr. Andre Stefan and Eli the Wolf. Paul Valenzuela and Craig Bush, followed by Andrew Moger and Philip Manning. Jeffrey Gerald and Milano Grimm. Alex Sanvital and his teammate Alan Malcolm deep. That is very deep for these two drivers that we've seen up front pretty regularly. Not tonight. It looks like they're going to have to work their way through the field. Then you got Ryan Little and Jamie Horseman, Sarah Taylor and Drew Clue, followed by Daniel Paulus Jr., Pedro Sales, and Jack Ross rounding out the field here today.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
So yeah, John Hagan, after winning the last race out, race number 4, which was at Chicagoland Speedway, coming in here today at Watkins Glen with a front row start alongside the 59 there of
How about Shannon? How they clear? Or you sound good.
my bad, the 59 of Gannon Bird, who's very deep in the points. Amazingly enough, 31st in the points, and yet he gets pole position here at Watkins Glen. So welcome aboard, folks. Hopefully it's a good one here tonight. Watkins Glen always seems to provide us with some action. Already looking 3 wide for the lead. Your leaders, they're bumping and banging. John Hagan, your points leader, he's trying to get, he's going to push the 59 into the grass here on lap number 1. That was a super aggressive move going in for the first segment of the racetrack here, the 59. falls backwards there. John Hagen takes the top spot away. Here they come through the bus stop. They're fanning out. They're going all over the racetrack. Oh, and they're wrecking. That's Philip Purpura, who's second in the points. Hard hit for Philip Purpura. No cautions here at road courses as Sigma standards are, but we will have to take a moment to watch that replay, for that wreck was nasty. Your points leader, John Hagen, leads the way, but oh wow, it's all the entire Outlaw gang except for the Outlaw himself. Snake Plissken was not involved in that, but every single one of his buddies were. So let's watch a quick replay here while we can. We'll try to jump back to live as soon as possible. It's going to be hard to decipher exactly where this all starts. It kind of started right there. Whoa, Philip Purpura just got way too far off the line. And in comes Tim Morse, Philip Manning. They all just dogpiled in there. The back end of the field with nowhere to go. Wow, that's a yard sale right there, folks. Yeah, he just he hit the tire barrier, went too far wide, and did not let out of the throttle one bit. Oh, 95 of Sebastian Galloway Jr. gets a tick of it. This looks like an ARCA wreck if I've ever seen one. That is just nasty. Yeah, we'll throw a yellow for that. There's some debris on the track that needs cleaned up after that. That was a very brutal first lap of the race here today. So fastest lap in the race belongs to John Hagen. Yeah, they are, many of them are waiting to retire here, but they're mostly, whoa, another wreck. Whoa, holy cow. Yeah, it's going to be survival of the fittest here at Watkins Glen here today, and it's looking bad. I don't know what's gotten into these truck drivers here tonight. It's a little bit wild, a little bit crazy. Unusual. We have not seen trucks that are this far off when it comes to tracking on the racetrack. Pretty wild so far. How many are retired? Let's start from the bottom and work our way up. The 25 of Philip Purpura, second in the points. He's out. James Gunner out. Philip Manning out. 56, that would be Al. Was it? 56 is Andre Stefan out. The 14th of Philip Manning out. The 19 of Boogs is out. 74 of Moger out. The 9 of Alan Malcolm out. The 92 of Kyle Ottawa out. And there's 3 trucks, 1 lap down, and 27 on the lead lap at the moment as John Hagen leads the way. Well, we had our drama here right out of the gate. And Zero's probably going to retire here as well after that severe damage. Ralph Oberstadt is probably out. Cannon Gage probably out. And Pedro Sales. We'll see if we can get through this without too much more carnage here today, as we've already lost about 10 trucks out of the starting gate here. Takers down pit road. Let us look and see what window they have here for pit stops. It says 41, so they really can get away with just one pit stop here today. And this being it would probably get them to the finish if we have no more cautions here today. Pedro Sales, Cannon Gage, Ralph Oberstadt now officially retired with the rest of those that are gone. So 11 trucks out from lap 1, crash 1. And then unfortunately Pedro Sales, I think, got in the debris field, lost it, and then slammed into that same wall that the 25 of Purpura pile drove it in. So hopefully now with the track crew out there cleaning up that we can get things a little bit more sorted here and won't have too many more weird, wacky wrecks. Go ahead and wave around the 28 there of Jammy Horseman. Lights are off on the pace truck. Reset in the field for the green. It looks like Jack Ross decided to stay out here, so Jack Ross will inherit the lead with Sebastian Galloway Jr. in second. Third place, Sarah Taylor. Fourth place, Eli the Wolf. Fifth place, Wyatt Wilkinson. And then your race leader, John Hagan, drops back to sixth after pitting. So 5 trucks stayed out. Oh, man, and we're going to have more troubles as per usual. The inside line not getting figured out here, as this is going to inherently black flag half the field. Come on. Watkins Glen did this to us with the Cup Series, too. Why is the 95 not going? Okay, well, here we go. Half the field's going to get black flagged here for... Wow, it's a mess. Watkins Glen is a mess here tonight, folks. I don't know what else to say. It's just the trucks are not racing clean at all. They're all over the place. Whoa! Jack Ross is going for a wild ride. He spins out. Whoa! Why? Woo! And the track is very much blocked here. Everyone else just trying to work their way through the chaos. Well, it looks like Guido Piano is going to recycle around to the lead here with Gannon Bird in second. Oh, and the game's crashing on us. Okay. That was a mistake and a half, I think. So what we're going to do, I'm actually going to add in a paint scheme. Now that I have this opportunity, an added opportunity. That was the most wildest start I've ever seen at Watkins Glen. And I'm kind of for it because I don't know what else to say. That was just unusual craziness here today at the road course. So hold tight, folks, as I get things reset here. I'll be honest, the reason why it was so wacky is because I actually dialed the aggression up to 110%. And I have now learned from my flaw how terribly bad that was. What we'll do is we'll dial it back down a little bit. Try it at 105. We'll we'll see if that makes it any better. But holy cow, folks, that was weird, wild, and crazy. Dial it down just a hair so it's not wrecking every lap of the race. And that was the problem, though. It was pretty ugly. It was getting even worse as the race went on. So, in the meanwhile, I did not get to do the Sigma Elite Challenge broadcast the other night, as it was around Easter, and I didn't really have the extra time to get it around to it. So we are currently behind schedule on the Sigma Elite Challenge. The next race is a vintage truck race at the Wooden Motordrome, which is a wood plank racetrack. I'm not sure if tonight I can maybe try to fit it in here, but obviously already throwing us a bit of a curveball with the initial start of the truck race here tonight going haywire and the game actually crashing. So if we just hold tight, I'm getting one minor tweak adjusted here. This is what I get for being a little bit on the experimental side, trying something different, and it seemingly was going to be all right up until the point that it was no longer all right. So that's awesome. I'm glad you got some good screenshots after the initial crash there. Sadly, the only replays that'll exist will be that short clip of the YouTube stream here today, as I won't be able to go back and actually pull any hard, coverage from the game crash, unfortunately. But that's all right. It's okay. We'll reset it here, and we'll see if maybe we can get some more crashes involved here. So dialing it down to 105% instead of 110. And let us see now where the new lineup is for qualifying here at Watkins Glen.
Favors, touch all your seatbelts, touch your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you. Favors, touch all your seatbelts.
Alrighty.
Just make sure you get everything
Well,
like you want it.
here we have John Hagan front row now, where he was front row just on the outside. Now he is the pole position here on the reset of this run. We'll just go ahead and get rolling here. I don't want to hold up any more time. We'll just try to figure out where everyone's running once the race goes green here. But yeah, John Hagan and Brandon Butler II on the front row. Then it's Philip Manning and Andre Stefan. Philip Purpura and John Underkoffler top 10 start. Wyatt Wilkinson and David Bird. Guido Piano and James Gunner. Cannon Gage and Wesley Shaw. You have the Outlaw, Snake Plissken, alongside the 29 of Eli the Wolf. Then it's Sarah Taylor and Craig Popkris, Gannon Bird and Dale Bush. And here they come charging down into turn 1 here today. We'll see if it's cleaner than the last race start. Not quite 3 wide, almost though. Philip Manning thinks about it in the Cluckin' Chicken number 14 machine. He's got Philip Purpura right there with him. The Outlaw gang having a decent start in this one. All 3 of the 4 team trucks were wrecked out from the Outlaw gang the first time, but they look like they might be getting it figured out here on the second go around. Now they're spreading out yet again here. Andre Stefan gets into the grass. Everyone else makes it through cleanly. Keeping it right there through the preferred racing line. And your race leader, it is Brandon Butler the second, driving off with it at the moment. Up to second, it's Philip Manning and Philip Purpura, 2 Phillips from the Outlaw gang. Points leader John Hagan right there, and Philip Purpura second in the points. Oh, he's taking out his teammate. Oh, they're getting into it there. The Outlaw gang, they're getting a little bit ruffled. The feathers of the Cluckin' Chicken got ruffled there for sure. Oh, man. Philip on Philip crime for sure. Here comes Snake Plissken as Philip Manning falls back in line. It's getting nasty out here tonight. It is good old-fashioned barn brawler here at Watkins Glen. Those 2 are buddies. Not necessarily teammates. I got a little bit excited there. They race for different teams, but they're part of an organization known as the Outlaw Gang, who race together as buddies. You kind of look at it like the way that Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney are best buds off the racetrack. And also throw Bubba Wallace in there, drivers that are best buds together, kind of like the Alabama gang back in the day, where you had drivers from like the likes of the Allisons and a couple other drivers that were best buddies. That was the Alabama gang. Well, here in Sigma Cup, we've got the Outlaw gang. Wow. Philip Purpura is using that bumper like it's going out of style. He just bumped into John Underkoffler there. And John Underkoffler did not take very kindly to that. He settles back in front of the 25. Man, it's getting good here, folks. This is only 3 laps of 41 here today. All at the meanwhile, your leader, Brandon Butler, up front there. 41 laps is the distance on a fuel run, so drivers not necessarily saving fuel at the moment. They're going to have to figure out a way to get a little bit of extra gas in the tank here today before the end of this one. Here comes Philip Purpura, flirting with trying to get around the 07 truck there. We'll see if he uses that bumper again. He's 2 for 2 in the last 2 laps. 25 of Philip Purpura, that is. He wasn't close enough, but he's still right there on the back bumper of Underkoffler. John Hagan right there in the picture as well. Fast lap. That last lap was John Underkoffler in the 07 machine. He's going to try to chase down the 23 of Brandon Butler the second. Here comes Philip Purpura on the high side. That's going to open the door for John Hagan, though. Hagan's going to get on alongside the 25 machine, fighting for that position. Look at that run from John Hagan. He carried the momentum on the high side, and now he's going to cut down, slide job in front of the 25 machine. great battle at the front of the field here. John Underkoffler starting to try and close that gap down just a little bit to Brandon Butler the second. Brandon Butler just turned a quick lap for himself there, but not quicker than Underkoffler. Here it's John and John. Hagen and Underkoffler side by side for that position. Second place under attack. John Hagen carrying that momentum. He's going to get there. He's going to be clear. The 88-year truck leading the points. Gets up to second. 3 wide going into the bus stop. This could get nasty. John Underkoffler in the pickup man Joe Diffie tribute truck. Sitting in third right now. He's defending for his life. Great run for the 07 machine. We have not seen him this stout, this competitive before. So evidently kind of gets it figured out when it comes to the road course racing. Philip Purpura right there in fourth place on the inside of the 32, James Gunner. Honestly, I feel like 105% AI aggression kind of gives us just that rough, rough around the edges racing that we were all hoping for. It's a little bit aggressive. It's still clean. They're not wrecking everyone every lap like we saw in the first start. And this looks to be setting up for a good race here tonight. New fast lap belongs to Cannon Gage somewhere throughout the field here. Oh, it's the 39 of Wyatt Wilkinson going for a bit of a ride there. There we have the fastest truck on track right now, the 5 of Cannon Gage. He's up into the top, I'd say about top 10, top 15. Running 9th actually, so yeah, top 10. Gets right there up along the back bumper of the 39 truck. It's a Chevy Brigade leading the way, 1, 2, 3, with a Ford in fourth. Philip Purpura, one of the lone Fords up at the front of the field here. Then you got some more Dodges in the mix as well with a Chevy, 2 Dodges and a Honda with another Chevy. 08 machine, Al Bunch Incorporated. Guido Piano, the inaugural truck champion from 2022, running for the highly esteemed Al Bunch. Whoa, that was a very, very rough off by the 39 of Wyatt Wilkinson. Oh, man. They come charging through. There's no stopping. The track turns into a yard sale once again. We are going to throw our caution here. Yeah, no, it was getting there. There's going to be that moment where we had another nasty wreck. Wyatt Wilkinson was in 8th. He was rolling the coal, but unfortunately goes for a wild off here. Oh, man. 14 makes it through that wreck without making contact. Whoa, the 15, I don't know if he made it through. Yeah, he just kind of slide jobbed there. Tim Morse might be fine. How about the 59 there, though? He gets lawn darted into the tire barrier. Not very often you see a track that ends very much in that position. Well, hopefully we can try to get back going here without too much delay. 33 laps remaining here now. And this restart will just prove to kind of separate the men from the boys. It's going to get them all on the same window for fuel. This opportunity should get them good to go to the finish here today, but we'll see who shakes out with the advantage on the pit stops here. The one big difference from the first start of tonight is the fact that the Outlaw Gang did not get completely wiped out in this first wreck of the day. John Hagan beats Brandon Butler off. John Underkoffler comes out in second. Falling in fourth there, it's David Bird. Fifth, the 08 of Guido Piano. So the lights are already off on the pace truck. A quick caution and go as they'll get doubled up for the restart here on the back half. Hopefully we can get reset without too much disarray. We saw trouble with the double file restart last time, so if we have trouble with the double file restart again, we might just have to decline double file restarts here. Yeah, dang it. Yeah, there's just no way that this will work for double file restarts here at Watkins Glen. There's no way to fix this once it does do this either. It's just it just ends up messing up the entire race basically, which sucks because there's really no reason for it. Whoa, Philip Purpura gets turned here. James Gunner just hooks him left right into the barriers of tires there. Off the racing line, so we're not going to throw a caution for that one. We don't like that restart. We're going to go ahead and black flag everyone. Oh goodness. What the hell? What in the world? Really? So you can't even black flag him without him messing up the black flag sequence there. Okay. Well, whatever happens tonight happens. At this point, I am just as lost and confused as everyone, because those people that jumped the restart should not be able to get away with it here. And I gave the black flag, and they're not actually honoring it. John Hagan, your points leader, retired here already from the mistake of blowing his black flag call to the pits. These guys actually smart enough to not slam into the barrier there for their black flags. Oh, and they're wrecking with the leaders. What in the world? Oh, gosh. What in the world? Dude, what in the world? Why? Why? No! No! Ah, boy. Okay. And now these guys don't know what to do because the track is blocked up. Snake Plissken comes barreling in there and hits Tim Morse, the Outlaw Gang. And also the 14 of Philip Manning. Wow, what in the world? Why in the hell did it not call the pit trucks on him to get towed? Okay. I have not seen anything weirder than this in my whole life of simming NR2003. This takes the cake for the weird. The weirdest, and it's crashing again. No, it's not. Who? Okay. And it's sending some black flags all around the racetrack here. Well, the three of Ralph Oberstadt driving away with this one. Wow, okay. 74 is trying to make his way around the racetrack after getting all the damage he took. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and throw another caution. Actually, not till after I give everyone their laps back. Okay, like the entire field is actually on pit road right now. This is wild. Yep, so more than half the field wrecked out now, it looks like. Just a little bit over. Right at about halfway, actually. Looks like we may have just a little bit more than 16 trucks left running here. Someone's got to win. That's the thing. At the end of the day, there's always going to be still one driver getting the win here today. So officially out of the race from the very bottom, working our way up the 51 of Milano Grimm, the 39 of Wyatt Wilkinson, the 59 of, that would be Gannon Bird, the 02 of Drew Clue, the 28 of Jamie Horseman, the 17 of Dale Bush, the 46 of Craig Popcris, and the 25 of Tim Morse, followed by the 88 of John Hagan. The 00 may or may not retire. Jack Ross is in 30th, 3 laps down. And then it is the 14 of Philip Manning out, the 18 out, the 92 of Kyle Ottawa out, the 54 of Ryan Little out. Number 8, that would be, if I'm not mistaken, the 8 was Mitchell Carter out of the race. 74 of Andrew Moger, the 10 of Alan Malcolm, the 15 of Tim Morse, the 16 of Jeffrey Gerald retired. Followed by the 81 of Snake Plissken. And a couple drivers, it looks like 2 laps down, that may or may not be retired. 49 just slammed into the wall. That was Paul Valenzuela, out more than likely now with the damage he took there. So yeah, it'll be about 20 trucks left running here with just a little over halfway to go. Yeah, it's just wild. I don't know how else to explain the race here today. These trucks are inhaling ARCA dust as we speak. Driving out there, making ARCA-esque moves and mistakes that we've often not seen with these truckers. So the good thing is we're approaching halfway, so the tornado is about to come to a close, hopefully. Drivers are re-navigating around. Oh, looks like maybe a lap truck that they're cycling around there. We're going to get back to green with 22 laps to go here. Here in Watkins Glen. Leading them to the restart, it's going to be the number 3 truck of Ralph Oberstadt, followed by the 84 of Craig Bush. Then it's John Underkoffler, Pedro Sales, Daniel Bogdasarov, Brandon Butler II, Sebastian Galloway Jr., James Gunner, Wesley Shaw, Zane Phoenix, Daniel Pauls Jr., Eli the Wolf, Sarah Taylor, Alan Malcolm, Andre Stefan, Cannon Gage, David Bird, and Jack Ross. They start fanning out, going down the long hill here at Watkins Glen. Coming through into second, it's going to be John Underkoffler. But here comes Pedro Sales bulldozing his way through. He wanted to get there alongside Underkoffler. Underkoffler's got to go through the grass. He's stuck in the grass. He's going to lose plenty of spots there, unfortunately. The Joe Diffie pickup man machine is falling to the wayside at the moment. He's going to have to recoup and recover. These drivers, they just cannot get settled in here tonight. It is a knockout, drag-out, barn brawl from start to finish here. It looks like they made it through that turn at least. Guido Piano's right at the tail end of the field. One lap down with the 08 truck. Yeah, 20 trucks left running out of the 39 that started here today. Ralph Oberstadt looking for that first ever career win in the USA Trucks. He's going to have his work cut out for him this last half of the race. The 23 of Brandon Butler II has led quite a stint here tonight. He'd be looking to try and get back around to lead the second half of this race. Ralph's doing a great job stretching that lead out. The Beagle truck leads the way. The Beagles' nose don't lie. They know where success lies, and that's at the front of the field. And the 23 closing that gap. Brandon Butler II, a race winner on the Cup side of things already. He would love to try and get a win here in the Truck Series to establish his name as a winning driver. He has not yet won in this Truck Series, so it would be a huge deal for the 23 and his own team that he's racing for here. Good run. He's caught up to the 3 of Ralph Oberstadt. Oberstadt, like I said, has his hands full here. He's going to have to defend some very stout trucks behind him still. Pedro Sales in the mix as well, the Zero machine, with the 3 and the 23 leading the way. And then also in the picture, that is the 95 of Sebastian Galloway Jr. This is kind of a quad of drivers that we've seen as the who's who lately between ARCA, Bridge to Cup, Trucks, and Cup, all kind of combined into one. Ralph Oberstadt, he's been a stellar Bridge to Cup star this year. And then you have the 23 of Brandon Butler II, who's currently the points leader over in the Cup side of things. And then Pedro Sales has been an ARCA standout. And, of course, Sebastian Galloway Jr. kind of all over the board. ARCA, Bridge to Cup, Trucks, and Cup as well. And he's having a good showing here tonight, running up in the top 5. Watkins Glen has definitely been one for the wild one here today. Do not know what's in the water, and I don't think the drivers know either because it's getting wild and crazy. Here comes Brandon Butler II for the lead. Crossover maneuver to perfection. He tricks the 3 truck into going high and then taking it low. They're side by side, drag racing down the backside of Watkins Glen. 23 has the advantage. The 3's going to have the outside line here, though, which carries the momentum heading into the front stretch. Ooh, look at that. Ralph Oberstadt maintains the lead. Defends on the advance there from Brandon Butler. So Brandon Butler's going to have to try again. Boogs is in the top 5, the 19 of Daniil Bogdasarov. Oh, Pedro Sales and Sebastian are getting at it there. Sebastian making a move up to 3rd. He wants to go and fight it out with his Bridge to Cup rival, the 3 of Ralph Oberstadt. Those two have been at it, trying to get their first career win in Bridge to Cup, and it's very much eluded them. But here today, they have a good chance to fight for a truck win. Brandon Butler tries again, but Ralph continues to hold the lead. $18 laps to go. I think my brain hurts from this race as well. It is definitely mind-boggling for sure. Oh, bump and run. No, he's wrecking the leader. Ralph Oberstadt gets turned by 23 of Brandon Butler the second. Oh man, that is not how you want this race to go. Wow, that is heartbreak central. That is heartbreak central, folks. The 3 had the race lead, and I guess Brandon Butler took matters into his own hands here today. We're going to let this one roll. No caution. A single truck spinner. They'll get back around the racetrack here. Man, that is very, very sketchy. Sigma officials right now are debating on the 23 truck whether or not to black flag for that move. That was very uncanny, a very dangerous move. And Sigma officials, the decree has come across that they're going to go ahead and black flag the 23 of Brandon Butler for a move that is could have been avoided. So 23 of Brandon Butler is going to have to serve a pass-through penalty for deliberately taking out the race leader. We don't want that in a race. You don't want to win a race that way. So Brandon Butler will relinquish the lead here, and that's going to hand it over to either Sebastian Galloway Jr. or Pedro Sales as they're battling side by side. Well, today has been one for the record books, folks. It is the weirdest, wackiest truck race that we've seen in a long time. Oh, and look at that. John Underkoffler, after getting in the grass, he's back up into the fight. Up to 6th, making some passes. Here he is, moving up to 5th. He's just getting aggressive, trying to make the moves when he still can. He knows that this race win is maybe opened up a little bit. He's got 4 trucks ahead of him here, and your 2 leaders, the most unusual duo of trucks that we've seen lead a race in a long time. Sebastian Galloway Jr. with Pedro Sales. Pedro sticks his nose down there, doesn't have an opportunity to make the pass, but the 2 Dodge trucks fighting it out. This is teammates, Black Storm Motorsports for Sebastian Galloway Jr. The duo looking to try and set a record for the team that has not yet been touched. Blackstorm Motorsports, they have yet to see a race win, let alone a 1-2 finish. Boogie's still in the mix too, that they could get back up there and fight for a podium. And he might actually have a trio of trucks, but they're kind of separated by teams. Daniil, part of the Evernham Bogdasarov Racing. They're all Dodge partners though. $14 laps to go. You've got a 4-truck breakaway at the front of the field here as Sebastian Galloway Jr. leads the way. Pedro keeps sticking his nose down there. He can tell the clean air would help so much to make a move for the lead here. Far from over. There's a lot of racing that can still happen here tonight. Pedro Sales trying to stick it around the outside. Whoa, and they're getting wild in third and fourth. They go way wide. That's going to open the door for John Underkoffler to get up to third. He's going to drag race down the front stretch here with Wesley Shaw in the 52. He's got to settle in behind Wesley, but he makes up one spot there from the mishap between those two. Yeah, this is going to be one that'll be hard to forget for some time. The trucks at Watkins Glen, who would have thought? Whoa, here goes Pedro Sales for a wild ride. He's going to try to go through the grass. He settles back in line, but tried to make that move. Tried to get on the inside of the 95. Sebastian starting to stretch it out again here. And as you can see, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, all within the picture here. Pedro Sales about to be under attack for second place if he ain't careful. See the ambulance in the background there. Definitely need that ambulance here tonight. It's been a tough, nasty race here, with a lot of carnage, a lot of chaos, and it's still 12 laps left to go. Pedro Sales still keeping it interesting here. And even the likes of Wesley Shaw in third, James Gunner in fourth, and John Underkoffler in fifth. Do not sleep on them, because they could make something happen here within the last 11 laps. Most likely going to be caution-free all the way through to the finish now. So it's more of a set yourself up for the last lap and pray that you don't get turned on the last one. Being the leader tonight has been very detrimental. We've seen so many wrecks involving the leaders here tonight. So for Sebastian, he might be sweating a little bit knowing that it's not a safe spot up front here. And the zero. Looks like he's woed up a little bit here as the 95 starts to build a gap. Are you quoting the Black Keys there? They got him nervous running up front here, defending the lead. His teammate throwing down with him. Who else other than his teammate would have a shot at this? The two trucks built out of the same stable and shown today that they've actually got the upper edge for the first time in a long time. So it would make sense for a pair of team trucks to be up front, lighting the field on fire. But only one of them can come out victorious. Lap traffic is ahead of them here. Hopefully that does not hinder their run with the final 9 laps to push. Not a lot of drama right now. Everything's pretty much follow the leader. Pretty relaxed, pretty laid back, pretty chill at the moment. But you might think of that as more of the calm before the storm. Especially with the lap truck ahead of them, they might have to navigate that very, very carefully. Sebastian Galloway Jr. has led a pretty big gap of laps here now. 7 laps led. That's not the most. Ralph Oberstadt had led 11 before he got spun out of the lead. And the 52 get there alongside each other. Pedro Sales makes his move getting around Jack Ross pretty quickly. And Jack Ross blocking the advance of these other leaders here. This could spell trouble as they're not able to get around him quick enough. Whoa, and the 00 gets off into the grass. John Underkoffler finds an opening here. He's going to get there right underneath the 00, and he'll drive away from him. So that shakes up your top 5 just a little bit. Well, the drivers are definitely going to have this track circled on their calendar next year. Or maybe X'd out, crossed out, because they do not want to touch this one with a 20-mile-foot pole. Who knows? Half the field knocked out of this one here today. And only the other half of the field just kind of scratching along, trying to get to the finish without being part of the, being a statistic here today. Teammates fighting it out for the win. It's the 95 there of Sebastian Galloway Jr. and the 0 of Pedro Sales as they're right there mixing it up at the lead, closing this thing out with 7 laps to go. '52 of Wesley Shaw in 3rd, and then you have the 27 of Zane Phoenix with John Underkoffler rounding out your top 5. The point standings, it's going to be turned upside down after tonight with both Philip Purpura and John Hagan wrecking out here today. And with the trucks, usually it's a win and you're in situation. So tonight, for the chase, they're looking to win and settle themselves into a chase for the championship. Sebastian Galloway Jr. has had a rough start to this season so far. He doesn't sit very pretty in the points. He's currently 25th. His teammate, Pedro Sales, even worse, who sits 37th in the points out of 39 trucks. Pedro Sales, his best finish this year has been a 24th at Chicagoland. His other finishes have been a 28th, a 30th, and a 36th. He is the 4th worst driver in the field rolling into tonight. So definitely a win would do him a miracle. But he's got to get by the team owner who runs the operation here for Black Storm Motorsports, Sebastian Galloway Jr., his team owner, his teammate. And it could happen here, man. Pedro Sales has closed that gap once again. All it's got to do, find the opening, take the advantage, and pounce whenever there's a mistake with the 95 truck. Good run here from Pedro Sales. And the lap truck there of Jammy Horseman is going to end up holding your leaders here just a minute, it looks like. Pedro right there. The 99 gets turned by your leader. Whoa, no. Sebastian goes for a ride. He doesn't lose too much ground, though, as he still recovers, and he's right there in 3rd. Falls back to 4th, falls back to 5th. Pedro Sales takes the lead away. I feel like the nerves got to Sebastian Galloway there. He was just a little bit too nerved up and got into the lap truck there, causing him to go backwards. So now your new race leader, Pedro Sales, leads the way, but the 52 right behind him of Wesley Shaw, Zane Phoenix, John Underkoffler, and now James Gunner, your top 5, as Sebastian Galloway Jr. falls back to 6th, and he's still not getting around the lap truck at the moment. Man, that could have been worse for the 95 of Sebastian. He could have been out for the day. Here comes Wesley Shaw on the number 0. He's going to try to make a move on Pedro Sales here. It's a tough spot to make a pass. This part of the track has been dangerous, but Wesley Shaw is going to carry that momentum down onto the backstretch. Wesley Shaw takes the lead. John Underkoffler tries to go 3 wide into the bus stop. This may be Trouble City. Now John has to lay up a little bit and gets in line behind the 27. The 0 falls back to 2nd. So Pedro Sales held the lead briefly, and now it's Wesley Shaw leading the way. Pedro with only 3 laps left to go. '27, that's Zane Phoenix in the Honda for Tyler Aspinall Racing. Up to 3rd. John Underkoffler, he's going to go in there, makes the move. Oh, and he had to hit the turtle. The turtle bump on the inside slowed him up there. Tried to make an aggressive move, but it did not pan out, unfortunately. Losing some ground. Wesley Shaw starting to drive away here with the fastest lap of your leaders. He's building a gap. John Underkoffler keeps trying to make some moves here. Very aggressive, trying to get up to 3rd. He's still going to be held up here. 27 does not let him advance on that move. And quite the opposite, actually, as he's going to lose the spot there, it looks like, to James Gunner. Pedro trying to run an alternate line here, getting a little bit creative, trying to reel in the race leader, the 52 of Wesley Shaw. Man, it was a wild race here tonight. Wesley Shaw, all he's got to do now is hold on for dear life. He turned the fastest lap of your top 4 there. That's kind of setting up as a no drama type of finish here. I don't know if Pedro Sales is going to be able to find the speed he needs. Wesley Shaw with the top advantage here. Pedro Sales led a lap or two, and now he's got his work cut out for him. White flag waves, one more lap to go here from Watkins Glen. He's going to have to drive it until he sees no more sunlight. Just drive it in to the abyss here if he wants to get around the 52. Over achieving the 52. I can't believe it. Out of nowhere here today, I don't think anyone really had him on their radar. Wesley Shaw surprises, stuns the field by getting the lead with about 5 laps left to go. Pedro Sales and teammate Sebastian Galloway Jr. just had it going until lap traffic totally messed it up for him. 1-2 battle for the win, and now neither of them looking at a win. 52 slows down here. I don't know what that's all about, but he lays right back into it pretty quickly here. Pedro Sales may have a shot if he sticks it in here and drives it as hard as he can for the last couple turns of the racetrack. The W machine, the 52 of Wesley Shaw, has the lead. Pedro Sales not going to be able to close that gap. Checkered flag waves. Wesley Shaw, a race winner here in the USA Trucks East Division, takes home the win on the road course at Watkins Glen. And this racing, it's like a drug, man. I don't know. The drivers that are that close to winning and still are snake bitten, it's something wild. And I'm sure that's the reason they keep tuning in every week, is to see if they can break the snide. Unfortunately for Sebastian Galloway Jr., led the most laps at the end of this one. 12 laps, one better than Ralph Oberstadt. He gets the led most laps bonus here today, and neither him nor his teammate gets the win. Tough break. Don't know how else to wrap my head around that one. They had the race win, but Wesley Shaw steals the show at the end of this one. Crazy night of racing here from Watkins Glen. As you can see, Pedro Sales brought it home second. Zane Phoenix, James Gunner, John Underkoffler, your top 5. Then it was Sebastian Galloway Jr., Daniil Bogdasarov, Eli the Wolf, Alan Malcolm, and Sarah Taylor, your top 10. Craig Bush, Daniel Pauls Jr., Guido Piano, Can Engage, Andre Stefan, your top 15. Everyone's run out of gas at the end of the race here, and they're driving all around the kitty litter, the sand trap. Not sure about that one, but yeah, it's the end of the night now, finally. I'm going to save before we do get a game crash, if they decide to crash the game on the end of the cycle here. Race number 5 on the USA Trucks East Division in the books now. They did run out. Your winner, run out of gas on the last lap there. That's how tight it was, how lightly they fueled up on their one pit stop here tonight, that they just fueled it up enough to make it to the finish. Alrighty. Well, congratulations to Wesley Shaw on taking the win here today. Definitely a wild and wacky truck race for sure. But we close it out and we get ready for the rest of the week here. Arca Delta tomorrow night, Bridge to Cup, and Cup also to round out the week here. The Cup doubleheader in Washington, we're going to see Evergreen, a track that has been dominantly won by Washington natives. Can we keep that trend rolling, or will we see someone else steal the show at Evergreen in Monroe, Washington? And then, of course, the first ever true race, points-paying race, Sigma Cup Series at the home of Sigma Racing, Moses Lake Motorplex. Fresh and renovated for our new season here. It's going to be exciting. That one is going to be a badge of honor for whoever can get the first ever career win at the home of Sigma Racing. So, thanks again, folks, for tuning in tonight. Hopefully all had a great Easter, had a great weekend, and are excited about the next week of racing under wraps. So, have a great night, everyone. Stay safe out there. And until next time, this is Jakester signing out.